right? Uh, Good morning. Here is up to now, whatever we discuss, everything is towards the hardware only, right? So towards the hardware means what is the input module is there, right? What is the input module is there, right? What CPU is there, right? And what is the output module is there, right? So input module, output module, right? CPU. So this input module, previously what we discussed, this is the power supply terminal, this one is the ground terminal. In between we have a terminals to connect the switches, right? This switch may be push button or switch may be pressure sensor or any switches, right? CPU, what CPU have, right? CPU is the processor we have, right? And memory we have. This output module, once again, this is the terminal, ground terminal, this one is the power supply terminal. In between we have a terminals to connect output devices, right? Output devices. So along with this particular input module and processor module and output module, we have a power supply module and program monitor. These are the basic blocks physically we have in the PLC module. As well as in the previous classes we discussed what is the input sensors, different input switches normally used in the industry. Hardwarely we have seen, right? We have seen input module of different number of terminals along with this particular power supply and ground terminal, right? So different module, AC module, DC module, and number of terminals are going to be vary depending upon the application. 4, 8, 16 terminal like that, 32 terminal, 64 terminal input module also there. This is also physical device. What is use of this particular one? It is used to take input data and conditioning, and then it is going to give input data to the processor, right? Processor, what is going to be do, right? This is the physical device, right? Processor to perform all arithmetic and logical operation. Along with that, it is going to be provide some control and status signals, and processor is going to be take input data from the memory, right? And taking the program to execute that particular program, then it is updating the output block, right? See here, look at this particular one. Memory will contain OS, right? This is the ROM, right? And along with that we have a user program and user data, right? That is going to be present in the RAM. This is to activate all the device OS, but user program input data and output data. Input data is taking and then user program is executing and then updating the output data in the memory, right? That is also present in the CPU part only, right? This is all physical devices. Then updated data from the memory is outing through the output device to control through output module. It is going to be control the output devices, right? This is all whatever we have along with program monitor and power supply. These all modules are physical devices, right? So now you can connect based on the application. You can go for the other input module and other output module means if small application 4 terminal, little bit higher application go for the 16 terminal, like that output terminals also, right? 4 terminal is application is complex, 32 terminal output module we can go, Right. So as well as here is what, and other thing here is that if you want AC module, you can go for the AC module. If you want to DC, you go for the DC module, right? The combination also is available. Combination of input and output module also available. This is all physical devices. This is all physical device. But this one is CPU. Once again, processor is there. Processor also you can go for the lower end processor to the high end processor depending upon the application, as well as memory also previously also seen. This memory also 1 KB to 32 MB, like that you can extend the memory if processor is extended. Processor is extended for the high end application. So this is all hardware. This is all hardware, right? Now we have to look into the software part, little bit software part, right, to write a programming for this particular application. Programming means you know this particular one, RAM is used to store the user data and user program. So you already know user data, how it is getting from the input switches and going to be stored in the memory as a input scan block, right? As well as after doing some operation, whatever the updated output data is there, that is also stored in the output image table to send out through output module 2 to control the output device. So other thing, user program is there. User program, this user program you need to write this particular user program, right? To write this particular user program you need to write a programming in some representation. Here you are going to writing this program in the graphical representation program, that is ladder logic program, right? This program we need to discuss, right? So we are going to discuss user program, right? So after user program you are going to discuss digital logic gates in terms of PLC logic diagrams. Digital logic gates in terms of PLC logic diagrams. Alright. So to write this particular user program in the ladder logic diagrams, we need to follow some what you call some we need to follow some instructions. Alright. So based on that instructions only you can write a program, right? So that is to understand that particular program, how you have to write this particular programming in the ladder language. We'll go through the basics and then we'll write a programming for the different application. Then you are going to discuss about the digital logic gates in terms of PLC logic.